Hello, friends. How are you all doing today? I have good news for you. I'm not going to force you to have that close-up of my face anymore. The only reason I did that close-up is to grab your attention because I want to protect you from other people who also want to grab your attention. In my case, it's to protect you. They want to grab your attention to harm you. So here's my question. Have you ever walked through a city, usually on big cities, and seen someone on the side of the streets with a card game? Usually it's to find the queen. I mean, they can have different rules. Or three cups with a ball underneath. And it's a type of gamble. You put money down. If you get it right, you find the queen, or you find the correct cup with the ball, you make some profit back. And I've seen different names for it, such as the one with the cards. I've seen it being called Find the Lady, Three Card Monty, Follow the Queen, and the ones with the cups and the balls. And I've seen it being done with shells and peas. I've heard it being called the shell game, Thimble Rig, or the old cup and ball trick. And it's all the same principle. Choose the correct one and you get even more money back. And very often it is a scam. I'm not calling anyone a criminal. Each situation is unique. I'm explaining for your safety and to prevent innocent people being tricked. When it is a scam, it's about the hand being quicker than the eye. You see, you can play one of the games, let's say Find the Queen, and you see exactly where the queen is before they turn it down. And as you watch that card in one's mind, you're absolutely 100% certain that's where the queen is. You saw exactly where the card went. Yet when they turn that card over, it's not the queen's somewhere else. You see, they've perfected that art of how to deceive. I'm talking about the ones that scam. Often those dealers train for hours with the hand moves, intentionally designed to make it look easy for you to make some money. Okay. And very often they work with accomplices. I'm going to use two words that are made up. I don't know if anyone else used them. These dealers, I call them types of magicians. So they're not magicians and they have different intentions, those who scam from magicians, but there's a similarity of sleight of hand where the hand can move so fast, or the hand can move one thing to something else at such an incredible dexterity and speed that you won't even notice. So that's what they have in common with magicians. And the other word I'm going to use is that the accomplices are a type of actor. And of course, they're totally different to actors with totally different intentions. The fun word actor I'm using is because they're not really doing what they look like. You see, they'll often mingle with the audience. There could be a big crowd of people watching. They are among that crowd watching. So they're pretending to be an onlooker. Meanwhile, one of them might participate in the game and start winning. So onlookers can say, hey, it's possible to win at this game. Some of them might be a lookout if the police are coming or any threat to them, and they'll find a way to signal to the dealer that there's a threat. Or they might even be observing what onlookers are saying or doing in case it's going to be a problem. And I am certain that very often who I call the actor, the accomplice, who's pretending to be a spectator playing, will sometimes lose as well. And the reason is if they just keep winning every single game, it'll be obvious it's an act. But if you see someone who looks like a passerby, let's try, and he sometimes loses, sometimes wins, lose, win, but overall wins more than he loses, then our mind starts saying, hey, it's possible to win at this game because it looks real. And see, everything is designed to make you think you have a chance. The people who I'm calling the actors, it's those accomplices, might celebrate if they see a victory. Maybe that victory is another accomplice, and that's to help encourage people. Somewhere in the game, there'll be some confusion in the rules. And of course, that confusion is to help them, not to help you. And on that topic, that the accomplice can sometimes lose, I can tell you an absolutely true story of what I saw. It was about 30 years ago. I saw one of these games. From the point where I started watching, I only saw someone playing 2 times. I saw this man lose 2 times in a row. And I just assumed he's a spectator passerby once he tries like gambling. And seeing that, I thought his spectator showed that at this point he had fooled me. So from when I arrived, I saw this man lose twice in a row. And then just suddenly, as if someone pressed a button, the 2 men together started grabbing everything, grabbing the table, grabbing the cards, putting suitcase, whatever's there, putting it together. And the 2 of them together walked away very, very fast. Okay. That's when I realized they were working together. Someone must have tipped them off that there's a threat on their way, probably the police. I'm guessing someone in the audience pretending to be a spectator knows what to look for and gave some type of signal. Other onlookers, they won't recognize a signal, but the dealer got that signal that it's time to move away as soon as possible. And I actually remember watching that. And as this presentation is about safety, I don't want to just tell you about it. I should give you some advice too. And I think the best advice I can give, and easy advice, is simply avoidance. If you walk past any of these setups, do not watch, do not bet, don't get involved, just walk on, walk away, get away from it. And that brings up one other reason to avoid it. You see a whole bunch of people crowding around to watch something happening is a great attraction to pickpockets. That's what pickpockets love, a crowd of people who are distracted. Maybe the pickpockets are working together with the dealers. They're helping each other. Here's a chance for the pickpocket to take from someone. Or maybe the pickpocket has got nothing to do with what's happening, but taking advantage of seeing an event with a lot of distracted people. So there's another reason not to participate. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm explaining these kinds of setups and how they operate in general. This video does not refer to any specific personal business. It's about awareness and public safety. This is educational and, as I said, not directed towards any specific personal business. If you found this useful, please share it with your friends or anyone you know. Even if at the end of the day it just helps one person losing their money, it's absolutely worth the effort. As always, your comments are welcome. You might comment some good tips that you know, or if there's a particular scam you'd like me to talk about, please put it in the comment section. And it's always good to hear from you. You see, I don't want this just to be about me lecturing you. I want it about us all good people working together as a team, helping each other. Thank you all very much. And please, all of you, and including me, please be careful. Thank you.